All right, hello everybody. Welcome back. I just ran 20 kilometers. I'm feeling good. So we have Quende, Courser, and an Eviscerate. It doesn't matter what we take, Quende or Pegasus. Both are very strong cards and easily second pickable out of a pack like this. You know, no joke, I'm just kind of tempted to take Pegasus Courser. I'm not gonna, but I'll probably even take Courser over Quende, I think. I don't know if that's right, but I feel this card is just like ridiculously strong. All right, Blessed Light. Blessed Light's great. So good removal for pick one and pick two. All right, so we have a lot of good green. And by a lot, I mean Elfhame Druid and Llanowar Elves. So I think we take this 2-drop Mana Dork. We could also take something like a Knight of Malice because it's on color. But this card can just be devastating in certain setups. So I think I'm happy taking Druid. Wow, so now a Chronicler and a Rona. And an Isolated Chapel, which could help us splash, actually. So I don't want to go into another color. I think... See, the problem with taking Isolated Chapel here is that we don't know that both black and white will end up in our final build. But most likely, one of them can make it as a splash, like Blessed Light on its own, or Eviscerate is good to splash. So I guess this is a strange pick 4, but I don't want to go into red. Chronicler is good, but not that good. And Rona would put me into another color. It's not even good in all decks, so I'm happy taking a dual land. All right, so now it's just a Forebear's Blade. I cannot believe this card is still in the pack. That blows my mind. It's an excellent equipment, and I'm taking it over Vicious Offering. It's also easily first pickable, and it's especially good in like a Saproling or green-white deck. It just blows my mind. So it's 5th pick for Bear's Blade. All right. So now, best card in the pack is actually Memorial to Genius. So let's see if we've been seeing a lot of blue. I don't think we have. All right, well, Journey Mage, yeah, definitely. But I guess a Rona, Wizard's Retort, okay. Could be the blues open. Trapper is better in black-white. Trapper is a decent card. I don't want to spread myself too thin. I'm happy to take it. All right, now I'm going to take either Shield of the Realm or Confessor. Confessor is great with Druid. You can kick him on turn 3. You would need both like a source of black and a source of green. But we don't know if we're going to play him though. I don't want too much equipment, and this is good like on big stupid creatures that need to be double or triple blocked. Like you put this on a 5/4, and it becomes so much harder to block. All right, I'm just going to take a Confessor. Adventurous Impulse. So we're seeing some green late. I'm not taking Zalfair and Void. This card is so mediocre. Ancient Animus. Honestly, I'd rather just take an adventurous impulse. All right, so now we wield some really good black cards. Witch is great, and she's great with Druid. We can splash Blessed Light, but Memorial to Folly is also a very strong card, and most likely we're going to get enough playables. So it's a really tough pick right now between Skin Witch and Memorial. No matter which one we take, we're sending a signal that black is open. Honestly, I think I have to take Memorial. It's just like as good as Skin Witch is, given that I can play virtually, I mean, I can play everything in my deck right now. I have this Isolated Chapel. I'm probably going to be like black-green based on what we're seeing, and I wouldn't splash this card. So really everything except one card is playable right now. I'll take a Servant. Soul Salvage, great card. All right, now we need some beef. So we got some decent cards. We wield an Adamant Will, which is kind of cool. We could even put Dominant Trapper back. So still not clear what's open. We're probably going to be some combination of these three colors. It doesn't look like actually green's very open. We got this in what? Pack 2? Pack 3? Yeah, we have this pick 3. So just because we get this awesome green card does not mean that green is open. But Danitha with a 4 Bear's Blade, first of all, she makes it cheaper. And then it becomes a 5/2 First Strike Vigilance lifelink. And Trample, by the way. And Trample. So yeah, Danitha's really good. And she's good with Trapper. She triggers Trapper. If I'm playing Danitha, I'd rather be, I think, black-white than green-white. Because in black-white, there's enough random historic synergies that make equipment incrementally better. Whereas green does not have any historic or legendary triggers that I can think of. So historic and green don't really mix all that well. But black and white certainly does. Oh man, we get an Untamed Kahu now. And a Pegasus Courser. All right, well, this is a very difficult decision, but I'm gonna speculate that white is more open than green also. I'm not even sure what's better. Kavu's great, but the longer I've been playing, the more Pegasus Corsair has gone up. So I'm just slamming it. And this puts us more in the direction of white. Eviscerate's good. No shit, right? So let's just take it and skip the unnecessary commentary. I really hope I can get one Skin Witch, to be honest. I may regret picking up a Memorial to Folly if I end up somehow short on playables. It doesn't look like that's going to happen, but you never know. Okay, so Aven Sentry or Memorial to Glory? Sentry is important in this deck. So I think it's a close pick between Memorial and Aven Sentry. It may get off awkward if you have too many of these tap lands. Like we got Chapel that make him untapped. Glory would be our third one after Memorial to Folly. So let's take an Aven Sentry. I will play another land like that, another dual land. Oh, sorry, not dual land. I guess you would call it. What would you call it? Utility land is the term. So Paladin, Howling Golem, I think I discovered that it's actually decent if you're playing like a ramp deck that's trying to get to 9 mana or 10 mana. Drawing a card every turn, even if your opponent can draw a card, it's good if your deck has like ridiculously good top end, and good to the point where on average is better than whatever your opponent's playing. So Cabal Paladin can go in a deck like this. It gets triggered by Forebear's Blade Danatha, and it's really good with a Jousting Lance if we can get one. All right, so now Invoke the Divine. Chainer's Torment. Just never been impressed. And it's good to have one or two of these in the sideboard. So Grun this late tells me that green may still be open. There's nothing else. I have some green cards. I'm going to take them and hope that I'm not going to end up playing them because I prefer to go white. I think white is a very strong color. Call the Cavalry is fine. We're getting a little bit flooded with our 4-drop slot, as always, which is kind of annoying, to be honest. Precognition Field, I wouldn't even splash this card. First of all, we don't really have too many instants and sorceries. But if you're playing like Adamant Vols and you have like a ridiculous like artifacts, blue, black control deck, sometimes you could make it work. All right, I'll take Inerzi's Tome. I like this card. Charge maybe makes this deck. If we can get like Sergeant at Arms, you know, with Sergeant at Arms and Cavalry, this becomes better than an average playable. Broken Bond. All right, so in pack 3, what do we want? Obviously, Lyra would be the best possible card we could open, but we do need some creatures. We have 8 with Call the Cavalry, and black-white deck does want to go wide, you know, especially with a charge. So I don't think we're going to have a problem getting 7 playables. And of course, I'd love like any additional equipment like Black Blade Reforged, another Danatha. That would all be good. All right, so, well, that's really frustrating. I'm going to take a Yargle because Forebear's Blade gives Trample, and a 12/3 Vigilance Trample Frog with an Adamant Will to keep him alive is pretty good. So now I would actually consider, all right, well, that settles it, I guess, right? Settle the scores, just prime removal. You can never have too much. I'm okay with, with like Soul Salvage. This is more of like a grindy control deck. We do need some early stuff for sure. I'm not comfortable with a Voltaic Servant keeping back the world, but Settle the Score is just too good to pass. I would like some more. I would like a Jousting Lance, and then 2/2 Knight would be good. Yeah, like, oh, both of these are in this pack. Jeez, I think I need to take a Knight though because I need early plays, and I need something, and that can actually stabilize. And you know what? Like two first strikers with 2 power can hold back like a Baloth Golem. Or Baloth, yeah. The green 4/4. I should know the names by now. All right, so Archaeologist. What do we take out for him? Are we just going to have 7 4-drops? Oh God, this is so bad. He's a great card, and he's an upgrade like over Cabal Paladin, I guess. Yeah, let's take him. I mean, yeah, jousting lance I'll take now. So still need creatures. If I can't find more creatures, I'll have to play the stupid elephant. Maybe even a Cabal Paladin. I mean, this is just ugly. Your deck should not have this. This is not what a good mana curve is supposed to look like by any means. So I'll take another Voltaic Servant. It's kind of bad, to be honest. But whatever. He works with Jousting Lands and Forebear's Blade. Any equipment. So we need one more playable, and then we have our deck. I don't like charging this deck, to be honest. And by the way, this is another 4-drop. Oh, boy. Yeah, somehow we ended up kind of shooting ourselves in the foot a little bit. Yeah, Short Sword is actually very good. Danitha plays Short Sword for free. It's 0 to cast. So we actually have quite a bit of equipment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's a decent amount. So maybe another Trapper would be nice. I'll take this guy. I'll take a One Grace Acolyte. So I never take a Cabal Paladin, but in this deck, we may actually need to run something like this. It's a target for Pegasus Courser at the end of the day. I'm not taking Power Stone Shard. Yeah, this is definitely. I'm really tempted to just take out Paladin, despite the fact that he's good and he triggers out. He triggers off a lot of our spells. You just cannot have 7 4-drops. Like there's a point in the game where you can get really ahead by casting 2 spells per turn. And sometimes that comes like by turn 5. Usually it comes by turn 5 or 6. And often that makes a difference between your opponent being able to race you, or having to go on the defensive. And with our relatively aggressive deck, like Knight of Grace, Evangel, Courser, Danitha equipment, with the exception of these Voltaic Servants, and by the way, I think I can cut one, I guess. Like we're not that desperate for Historic. Yeah, he triggers Paladin, he triggers Archaeologist. Like what do we take out? I definitely want a 2/2. That's important. And I have 24 cards, and I could technically go 17 lands, but again, I'm not comfortable with 17 lands with 7 4-drops. That's not the plan. All right, let me think this over for a minute. All right, so I decided to take out Adamant Will because it doesn't sync with Soul Salvage. You either want your creatures to die so you can draw them again, or not. So this way we maximize our artifact count. And by the way, like what I want to get this game is I want to get Voltaic Servant going with a Short Sword, a Jousting Lance, and a Pegasus Courser. So what that does is you get, let's do the math, 1, 3, 2, 4, 4, 4. You essentially get a 4/4 with Vigilance, and when it attacks, it has flying in first strike. So that's kind of cool. So let's go 7, 8. Is that right? No, I think I'm going to go 8, 7. Really, it's like 9, 8, 9, 9, 9 with Folly. Yeah, 9, 9 is good. I have some 1 double black card, but it feels like I really should have more white than black, right? Yeah, I think Magic is just dead wrong here. So see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ah, no. No. Okay, so then 8, 7 is good, or 8, 8. Sorry, na, 9-9 is what it's going to come down to. Isolated Chapel is one white, one black, so that's 9-8, and then Folly is black, so you get 9-9. All right, so let's run it like this. I don't mind the extra lands with Urza's Tome. Like you could choose to go 16 lands or 17 lands on an Urza's Tome. And we have some historic cards we can exile for value. All right, let's do this. All right, so decent opening hand. I'm going to keep. All right, so I take 2 from Journey Mage's ability. And I don't have any attacks. So I guess let's just play. I'm not sure what's better. I guess a Voltaic Servant is better in case my opponent has removal. Like, I see no point in playing lands because I can't really, I can't attack with a knight anyway. Actually, Voltaic Servant is going to be a better attacker in this case, I think. All right, let's just play Lance and pass. So it could be that opponent's actually mono red. What? What? What was that? What was that about? Why? So strange. Why would you just quit there? I mean, I don't get it. I don't get why people do that. This is game 1. This is like game 1, match 1. Maybe my opponent is trying to give me a head start. Maybe he's so good that. Let's see. All right, 3 trophies. Oh, what is this? What is this? I'm gonna mulligan. All right, it's much better. And you go to the bottom. Adamant well. Oh, right amok. Okay. Yeah, like honestly, like players should not get discouraged when that happens. I mentioned it before, but it's something that people really tend to take to heart. Like, oh my god, I blocked and my creature died. So what? Like, you traded a card for a card. Yeah, your opponent gained 5 life and did 3 damage. So I guess he's up value in that transaction. But I block. I'd rather just get it off the table. With the Urza's Tome, I can go to the long game, more likely than not. And okay, yeah, like look what happened. So Gideon's approach, I took no damage, it's a card for card, and my opponent didn't develop his board and didn't benefit from the lifelink. So, all right, draws are a bit awkward, but Yargel might be able to slow things down if we can find another land. So, our only bad draw is like a Windgrace Acolyte. We would have to discard him. I think that's our other 5-drop. Everything else we can cast or gives us a land to cast Yargel. With one card in our opponent's hand, we just need to hope it's not removal. So I'm going to play Knight of Grace and actually equip with Short Sword. And I could hold everything back. Let's hope. Okay, well, Yargel, I guess, can trade. Well, our opponent made a big mistake because either he doesn't know that my creature has first strike or he's trying to run me over, but I will gladly take out Journey Mage. I don't care about the 2 points of lifelink. I want to maintain as high life total as possible. Just doesn't seem good to do that here. I appreciate like my opponent trying to just run me over or whatever, but now I got Call the Cavalry to stabilize things, and I'm okay even taking a hit from Wanderer for a turn because I can equip if I get a land. I'm probably gonna go Yargel to be safe. Okay, just with Wanderer. Yeah, I'm gonna throw everything in front of it. Why not? He can kill 2 things. It's definitely value. Definitely value for our opponent. If he has another combat trick, it's going to be really bad. But if he's got nothing else, then I got a 2/2, and hopefully, if I can get a land. Okay, all right. That's not that big of a deal, I don't think. All right, sweet. So let's go Yargel and pass. And then next turn, if we want, we can have a, let's see, 12, 13, 4 first striker. Seems pretty good. So if my opponent has charge, I take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, not quite lethal. But because he may have charge, I need to double block. So the best double block is something like this. Run amok. So opponent's playing like a lot of combat tricks. Yeah, a ton of combat tricks. He's very aggressive. So if we can somehow push the envelope and attack, then we know our opponent cannot use. All right, well, we're behind, so let's just concede. Yeah, like if we can, the run amoks, he may side them out, but you can only cast them on an attacking creature. So in that scenario, if we can get our opponent to go on the defensive, then we may benefit just by virtue of the fact that he's going to have cards that are not unusable. I think Adamant Will is good in this matchup because with all the combat tricks, we can easily 2-for-1 our opponent with Adamant Will. Maybe there's like reason to bring in a charge, but it's difficult as it is to make room for this guy. I don't think Cabal Paladin is going to be good in this matchup. I think this smooths out our curve a little better, and we have 13 creatures. I guess that's okay. I'd really like to draw just Danitha into 4 Bear's Blade. Like, is that too much to ask? I really think our deck can win. Like, our deck is very good. We can easily beat our opponent. And apparently we only have to do it for one game because he conceded the first game for no reason, it looked like. All right, so let's keep... Like, even if his hand is bad, right? Let's say it's all lands or it's all, you know, cards that he can't cast. So what? You don't know what I have. What if my hand is worse? So opponent kept the one-lander. Did he even mulligan? All right, so he either like purposely kept a one land hand, or maybe he accidentally clicked keep instead of mulligan, which I do sometimes, or that's just like super ambitious, you know, or maybe he's running like, I don't know, 18 lands or. But typically, generally, it's not a good idea to do that. By the way, we can maybe really go off and use Urza's Tome twice per turn with Voltaic Servant if we have 6 mana. So I don't want to use an Adamant Will just to kill this Knight of Grace. I have a free roll attack. I'm going to attack. I think Adamant Will is going to be better when we set up for 2-for-1. All right, so Call the Cavalry is good. I would like a Pegasus Courser to get one of them over the top. Because as of now, they cannot attack through Knight of Grace. I don't think our opponent blocked, by the way. Yeah, we got another point of damage through. So attack. No attacks. All right. Let me attack again. I'm just going to attack with the Voltaic Servant. Like, what are the odds he has? No, it's not. I'm going to get 2-for-1. If he has Gideon's Reproach, I'm going to get 2-for-1. That would just be very bad. So let's just attack with Voltaic Servant. Knight of Grace is great. It's a very strong card. All right, this time opponent blocks. Okay, so now I will use Adamant Will because this is a clean 2-for-1. I get to kill his Knight of Grace, keep my creature, and make him waste the Gideon's Approach. So that's what I was talking about. That's why Adamant Will is good. Usually it's just like a white counterspell against removal, but in a matchup like this, it could easily just be like a 2-for-1 setup. And here you can even say it's like a, no, it's not quite a 3-for-1. That's, I think, incorrect terminology. So opponent is mana screwed. I feel terrible. Always do when this stuff happens. But I'm not gonna play this land. I don't have anything bigger than a 5-drop in this deck. So I'm just gonna get in for 6. Oh my guys have Vigilance. I'm gonna go Windgrace Acolyte. And Windgrace Acolyte actually works well with Memorial to Folly because I get some stuff. I get stuff in the graveyard that I can bring back. Like even the Yargle is not bad. Yargle with Pegasus Course is just stupid, just ridiculous. That's literally a 2-turn clock, right? It's 10 in the air. Okay, that's good for us. That's really good for us. Dealing 6 a turn means that OP is on a very short clock. So let's go to the next game. I'm not going to count a game like this as a win because it was so strange. Like first game, our opponent really quit prematurely, and the game 3 he got mana screwed. So I wouldn't read too much into a win like this. A win's a win, I'll take it, but it doesn't mean much. All right, sweet. We got Danatha in our opening hand. So now I would love a Jousting Lance. Opponent unfortunately have to mulligan to 5 and put a card on top. So I'm tempted to kind of go Trapper into Danatha. That way we can attack. I don't want to trade Danatha for a Knight. I'm just going to have to take some damage from him. I'm also really disincentivized to block in general because of the way that my deck is set up right now. I want to be on the offensive. Yeah, so let's just go Trapper. We could even like go Paladin to Danatha. Oh boy! All right. Well, now I definitely have to. Yeah, this is bad. This is pretty bad. So I need to play Danatha right now to essentially trade with Quende. The problem we're facing, and the reason why Cabal Paladin is getting cited out, is that he's such a terrible matchup against our opponent's early plays. I don't have an attack unless I want to trade 3 damage for 8 damage. I guess I do have an attack because this guy's not going to block anyway, right? So I'm just going to get in with him. My guess is that opponent's just going to attack with the Knight of Grace and keep Quende back. I'm hoping I don't run into removal. Run amok would be bad. I'd fall pretty far behind. And One Grace Acolyte is not gonna be enough with the three life gain. So I'll trade Danatha for whatever opponent throws at me. All right, so maybe we can trade for Quende here. That would be good. Fingers crossed. All right. So because of the first strike, I only took 2 damage. Because first strike damage resolves, I think, before double strike. I'm not sure how that works, actually. But I'm pretty sure I took only 2. Oh no, actually no. I took 4 and I gained 2 with. I gained 2. No. I was at 14. I went to 12 and then I went back up to 14 because of Danatha's lifelink. I got confused by the score a little bit there. I think it was I was at 14 before. So let's just attack. The Acolyte. And then next turn we can actually go Cabal Paladin into Voltaic Servant, which it's value. Tap a creature, deal 2, and then get a clean attack. So our eviscerates are not going to work on Knight. All right, opponent's digging. That's good. Honestly, I may even like sandbag Voltaic Servant if he doesn't play a blocker right now. Ah, okay, no problem. Well, it's a problem because he gains 4 life and he can stay ahead. Ah, sweet Pegasus Courser. So, all right, let's get in. I wish I could play both of these, but I'm just going to play Pegasus Courser. And then that way I can get over the top with Trapper. And then I can still go Servant and Paladin into Servant if I need to tap something. Which I don't, because all my creatures are flying. So I can even save will take Servant as a way to get the last points of damage through. Because as of now, I'm dealing 7 per turn. And that's definitely a 2-turn clock. Okay. All right. Well, there's something we can tap, actually. Sarah Disciple, he's got 0 cards in hand. But Sarah Disciple lets him chump if he wants to do that, and I don't want to give him that option. I'm going to keep the land in case I get... well, no, Myers' Tome is destroyed, so there's no point in keeping lands now. We just run them all out. Unless you have a reason to keep lands in your hand, then you're better off not doing it, because if you can get a... if you draw Soul Salvage, you want to make sure you can cast both creatures that you bring back. So for that reason, it doesn't make sense to tap lands, keep lands in your hand. All right, so let's get in with everything and make sure we don't misclick and give Trapper flying. 1, 2, 3. Trapper gets flying. And yeah, that's why I think he's better than Quende. Quende's gone, and this guy's just getting in there. Okay. So I can even kill my opponent if I find 2 historic spells, because Cabal Paladin deals direct damage. But he needs to find answers to a lot of flyers, and it's probably not going to do it. Okay, so another aggressive like white-red deck. But we already have all the 2 drops. We could consider putting another Confessor, but a 1/1 is not going to really help us. Do we want Invoke the Divine? I didn't see anything. I'm not bringing it in for an Urza's Tome. But I will play Adamant Will for the same reason that I did it last time, except this time I'm just going to dump Confessor. I mean, this is essentially another 4-drop. I'm not playing this as a 1-drop, and I have enough 4-drops. So 13 creatures, Adamant Will. I'm boarding this in on speculation that, again, in many red-white decks, opponents depend on combat tricks, and this is designed to really punish that. So let's run this. You know, I've been doing a lot of thinking, like, what's more important than drafting? Is it just making sure you're picking the right cards out of the packs as they're being passed, and picking up a good read on which colors are open and building a synergistic deck that accommodates splash? Or is it the gameplay? And the longer I've been playing, the more I realize that, of course, if your draft skills are bad, it doesn't matter how good your gameplay is. But at a certain point, people draft relatively well. Like, it's not, you don't need to be a rocket science, I don't think, to understand what colors are open. And the more I've been playing, the more I realize that the quality of your gameplay can really have a big impact over how many games you win. And specifically, little things like understanding what your opponent could have in his hand, what he could cast, and playing around it consistently can really give you, incremental long-term advantages that increase your win rate. All right, so no problem. Into turns, I'm going to have a flying 9/3. So I'm not too worried. I can't use Eviscerate on this guy because he's got hexproof, so I have 2 options. I could keep back and block, but I think Pegasus Courser is more important alive, and I don't mind playing Cabal Evangel out, setting myself up for dealing 3 next turn, and then we go Yargle and we have a handful of removal. So as long as Pegasus Courser doesn't die, we're going to win this game very quickly. Okay, I'm not worried about that. Okay. So, all right, Soul Salvage is actually also good with Grace Acolyte. So let's get in there and just play Yargle. Wow, that's just dandy. That's a juicy target for Eviscerate. I mean, I can also just save an Eviscerate and use Adamant Will, but there's a big advantage with getting damage through here. So we can't attack with Cabal Evangel, but let's get in for 10. So giant frog horror riding on the back of a courser. And now Adamant Will, like let's say Yargle dies, Adamant Will now becomes something that can just win by dealing direct damage. So let's go sell the score and go to the finals. So that was pretty easy. I think this is game 2, right? Yeah, this is game 2. So we're on a roll, hoping to get our 11th trophy. That would be sweet. And just having a final look, there's really nothing that we want to change. Except maybe mainboard Adamant Will, just because it's been so good for us. It's been so much better than Stronghold Confessor, right? I think this is the right build. Maybe I should have done that earlier. So save and play. Yeah, it's never too late to take a look over your deck. Just because you're winning doesn't mean that you can't make it better. And yeah, like with our Adamant Will, we want to protect Pegasus Courser. We want to protect Danitha. We have really good creatures that single-handedly can win us the game, right? Oh, sweet. That's best opening hand I've had out of all my turns so far. So short sword into Grace, Knight of Grace seems really good. 3/3 first strike attacker with removal to back it up. So I'm hoping my opponent plays a black creature. Nope. Okay. So let's just equip and attack. We're not doing much else. So now, I mean, look, we can even talk a little bit about math here, right? So my opponent is on an 8-turn clock. I need to get 8 hits with a Knight of Grace to kill him. But I'm guaranteed with the Blessed Light and an Eviscerate, I'm guaranteed to deal at least 6, probably 9 damage. So you can even say that right now, I mean, opponent is, well, I can still attack. I mean, a 3/3 first strike can attack into. Yeah, it's fine. So let's get in there. I'm not winning the race anymore. I'm trading 3 damage for 4. Just not good, of course. But it's not such a bad situation to where I'm going to even consider using Eviscerate on an Honor Guard. I'm just going to play Resist Tome and pass. I could have also considered keeping back Knight of Grace, but given what I have in my hand, you know, Yargle plus Blessed Light, you can set up easy 2-for-1 because your opponent's going to double block this, and Blessed Light can take out one of their creatures. You know, keep it 2/2. So I'm guessing that my opponent is deciding between attacking or not, because he's thinking, you know, why did I? Okay, that's actually great for us because now Blessed Light becomes really good. But if I don't draw land, now I need to keep Knight back to hold off Hunter Guard to maintain my life total. Not worried about this at all. But I am hoping to draw land, I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to take another hit. Because then, you know, some stupid Sarah Angel can just finish me off in 2 turns. Oh, and he's protecting it, but that's not going to help because Blessed Light exiles. It does not destroy land. Yes. So I don't want to trade 3 damage for 4 damage. I think I just kind of, well, I'm going to be a little concerned if they attack with Honor Guard and Dauntless Bodyguard. And there is a chance that our opponent's deck is mono white. All right, well, we could eviscerate that. It's a creature. It doesn't say this card becomes a creature. It just says it untaps when you play a historic spell. So, all right, and yeah, you have to be careful not to misclick on dub because it'll just exile the enchantment as opposed to both creatures. So I don't want Traxxas to untap. I could take 1 hit from him, right? I guess, and with Windgrace Acolyte. No, that's all right. I'm gonna risk taking a hit. I'm gonna be at 15 life. My opponent can either untap Traxxas or kill my Knight of Grace, I imagine. So I don't think he's going to be able to attack me with everything. And the worst case scenario, I still have Warren Grace to trade with something. Unfortunately, we didn't get any targets. We milled lands, which is good. But creatures would have also been good for Memorial to Folly and Soul Salvage, because if we draw Soul Salvage now, it's essentially a dead card. All right, no attacks. That's perfect. Perfect. And now we have a Settle the Score too. Sweet. No, well, again, I think I just cast Yargle. I can't attack with him, right? And unfortunately, I already used my sorcery speed spell. Sorry, instant speed spell, and I have 2 sorceries that are removal. So I'm risking taking a hit from Draxos, but with a Yargle and 2 removal, I'm willing to do it, and I wouldn't even want to block with Yargle. I wouldn't want to trade. All right, well, this is going to make attacking with Yargle very awkward. Now we're drawing a Pegasus Courser, but we still have an opponent on a very short clock. So he's got something. So I'm guessing it's an Adamant Will. Do I need to keep Yargle around? I'm going to take this because I'm trading 3 for 3. We just have to be mindful of the fact that for one of the turns he could deal an extra 2 damage. So we have to do the math and make sure that we don't run into an Alpha Strike. Let's get in with Acolyte. All right, play Cabal Paladin. And I will trade a Cabal Paladin for a Adamant Will. That I don't care about. And it makes sense that it's an Adamant Will rather than a charge, because then he would have attacked with the 2/2s as well. All right, so here you can have my stupid 4/2 because he can't attack anyway without a Jousting Lance. This card's been nothing but a disappointment this game, Cabal Paladin. Yeah, no surprise there. So opponents still cannot untap Traxos, and we're still sandbagging our good removal for things like Lyras and Sarah Angels and other nasty surprises that a mono white deck can be hiding. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. And we have to remember to not play any lands. If we get a land, we just toss it. We have nothing historic in our graveyard that we can exile, but we need to be careful not to make the mistake of playing a land. So that's not too threatening. My opponent's at 5 life. And I'm gonna exile the Courser because I don't want opponent to untap Traxus and get in some, potentially lethal amount of damage. So all right, I'll trade, I'll bite. Not sure why it makes sense to trade card for a half card there. It's a very strange attack. All right, so not playing the land. Let me just go first, I guess. I'd rather use Eviscerate's the worst removal. So let's kill Pegasus Courser. Okay, and let's get in there. Now, if my opponent attacks with Draxos, I will just throw Yargle in front of it. I really don't care because next turn, if my opponent can't find an answer for Windgrace Acolyte, yeah, let's go to sideboard. So against Traxos, we do need to invoke the Divine. Is Adamant Will good against this deck? 2/2s. So it's a mono white deck. I think we take out Adamant Will because white's removal is Blessed Light, and Adamant Will does not protect against that. It also has Gideon's Reproach, but we didn't see any. We didn't see any Blessing Lights either. But I still think that we can do one game without this. And I'd just rather have something that deals with Traxos. So let's submit this. And if we get this game, then it's another 3-0, and I'll be really, really stoked with that. This is a great hand. Forebear's Blade. If we find another land, this is a bomb hand. Absolute bomb. All right, not a land. All right, that's a land. Sweet. I am pretty excited. I'm not gonna lie because I don't see us losing this game. I really don't. I know I sound cocky, but just look at unless we don't find our fourth mana, and we will. I mean, because we don't need it immediately. Yeah, the 3/5 first strike is annoying, but I can take 3 a turn, and at some point, Daring Archaeologist will be able to block him. So I can't attack, so let's just go Courser and pass. Yeah, I did say the Voltaic Servant is no joke with equipment, you know, and this is another example. 3/5 first strike vigilance on turn 3. Pretty strong. So yeah, we're losing the race right now, but we can still set ourselves up to win. Like if I can get Cabal Paladin down next turn, okay, that's brutal. Now we can't attack. We just can't attack, period. That is unfortunate. So what's the play? I guess Forebear's Blade, and the next turn we equip on Knight. That seems awful, to be honest. But I need to stop that Voltaic Servant somehow. And this is one way to do it. We might get crushed, and I'm definitely being punished for being cocky there. But this could be a legitimate way to stabilize. Just take another hit and then equip and dodge Gideon's Reproach or Blessed Light. All right. Yeah, it's 3 hits. That's 9 damage. But we're close. Yeah, it's not a problem. Not a problem. The fact that I can't attack is annoying. And Barrett is definitely strong here. And a bodyguard. On the servant, right? On Stewart. Interesting. I would have put it on the servant. Why put it on Baird? Doesn't make sense. So let's just equip. Yeah, we can't attack anyway. A little bit mana screwed, but it's okay. We're going to find our 4th land. Our opponent's down to 1 card. And I'm not in too much trouble. Yeah, so the way it works is if he attacks with Voltaic Servant and I trade Knight of Grace, they both have first strike. So Knight dies, and this equipment automatically goes on Courser. And it becomes a 4/3. I will definitely block, hoping that the only card left in his hand is not removal. All right, sweet, 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 sweet. And now we can actually start attacking. We can attack with Courser because it's got vigilance. All right, still a little bit mana screwed. It's annoying. I'm not gonna lie. Let's just get in there. I will pay 1 because I can cast Cabal Evangel and trade with something. I can also just go Voltaic Servant, but it's better to play Voltaic Servant later after we get Daring Archaeologist down. So that's so far so good, even with 3 mana. So what can my opponent have? He may want to just, he may be willing to kill Dolma's bodyguard. I'll bite. You know what? I'll bite. Let's see what you got. Are you just trying to trick me? Okay. That's okay. Because now the Cabal Evangel gets equipped. And yeah, you know what? I'm gonna attack with Cabal Evangel. Well, no, I'm not because I don't have extra mana. But this should be good. He could attack with Sparring Construct to put a +1/+1 counter on something. I would probably do that. I'll just get a 3/5 Baird. Yeah, that makes sense. I'll block. I have a Blessed Light. So I'm kind of incentivized to have my opponent stack his creatures like that. And you know what? I have no reason not to attack with Cabal Evangel. Yeah. He can only block one of these attackers anyway. He's got Trample. So this turn, I can actually go Servant and Trapper and make this a 4/4. So that seems pretty good. I'm attacking with Cabal Evangel. You want to throw one of your 2/2s in front of him? Oh, why do I keep forgetting about Baird? Why is it? Okay, no, I'm not attacking. Why is his ability? I don't know if it's just me, but every time I forget that I have to pay one. It's like a learned helplessness at this point in time. All right, so let's just go Trapper. Servant, make Archaeologist bigger. Tap this guy. And at some point when we get our second swamp, we'll crack Memorial to Folly to bring back Courser if we need a way to finish out the game. Oh, and actually Voltaic Servant with the 4 Bears Blade is excellent because only Baird can trade for him. So after Cabal Evangel dies, 4 Bears Blade is definitely going on a Voltaic Servant. I have no reason to attack with Archaeologist. I'm just going to make him bigger with additional historic cards. Yeah. So we know opponents, I mean, I still think opponents like almost mono white, maybe playing a few green cards because we didn't see any green last game. And his deck seems pretty sweet. Everything. All right, so most likely opponent has a charge. That would be my guess. So how do we play around charge? So we can go like this, like this, like this, and take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, go to 2. Do I want to go to 2? I don't mind going to 2. Yeah, I think next turn we just Blessed Light. We don't have to Blessed Light Bear, to be honest. We can still win if we just kind of take it slow. But I will re-equip Voltaic Servant. All right, good. And he didn't even have anything, right? He didn't have a combat trick. Oh wow. What a bad attack. Oh, I think that was a mistake. I really do. So I think we go even sentry and pass. And then next turn we can start getting more aggressive with Voltaic Servant. Maybe we'll exile Baird next turn if there's no other threat. But right now we just have we have a wall basically. All right. So I should probably play around Adamant Will, but I can't play around Adamant Will anyway. So it's a question of what do I want to do? I think this is probably my best option. If he has a charge, this was a wrong play. If he has an Adamant Will, I'm dead anyway. And I think this is something that makes sense. So hoping, yeah, he doesn't have a charge. Okay. I'm gonna cast Blessed Light now. Voltaic Servant has Vigilance anyway. If I had one more mana, I would equip Daring Archaeologist with Forebear's Blade to have 2 untapped creatures, but there's nothing that flashes in white green, I don't think. Yeah, I can't think of anything. So there's no threat. Green has flash sometimes, but not in this format. And if he doesn't have an answer, he's dead, or he has to start chumping. Yeah, he's gonna have to chump. That's a good spot. All right. Let's tackle both. We're close. Okay. It's good for us. 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's pass. So I don't think there's any outs. Like kicked, Saproling, migration, the chump for a turn. I don't think there's much that my opponent can do. Yeah. All right. So we did very well. 11th trophy. Hope you guys enjoyed that, and see you next one.